Hey, what's up, EC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for another vinyl update. I guess this will be a collection video. I'm going to show some of my 45s. I don't talk about 45s that often. The main reason is I just don't run across a lot of them that are albums that I want. You know, I have a decent size 45 collection. I guess I've got about 245. I'm not going to show them all. I'm just going to show what I've bought over the last, I don't know, most of this is probably the last 6 or 7 months. There's probably 30 45s here, which is a relatively small amount when you consider the amount of LPs that I show. But I do run across them on occasion. I'm real picky about 45s. You know, 45s were mishandled more than probably any other type of album. You know, they were thrown on spindles. They were put on those 45 players where you'd stack 10 of them together, and that little arm would slice in there between them and scratch the records. I'm so sorry. I got my hair cut a little bit ago, as you can tell, and it's a little itchy. I haven't taken a shower yet. In the background, In Absentia from Porcupine Tree. Amazing prog band. If you haven't heard them, I highly recommend checking out literally any of their albums. I've heard, I believe I've heard all of their albums. And I've loved everything that I've heard. A lot of people call them progressive metal. I wouldn't go that far. They do usually have 1 or 2 songs with heavy riffs in it, but I would just call them just straight up progressive rock. They definitely have their own style of prog. It's not the typical, you know, they don't sound like Yes, they don't sound like Genesis. You know, they definitely have their own sound. So let's just kind of jump into this. Like I said, this is 45s I bought over the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 months. I prefer 45s and picture sleeves, but that's not always the case. And you'll notice all my 45s, you know, I'll put the picture sleeve on the front, and then the 45s are in these little, I don't know if they're rice paper or plastic, but I'll call them little plastic sleeves. So first up, we've got Nobody's Fool from Cinderella. The B-side of this is Push Push, and this is off of the Night Songs LP. Next up, this is one I just bought a few days ago. I went out a couple days after Record Store Day. Most of the record stores were still having sales, and they had already marked off a bunch of stuff. I only bought a few Record Store Day things, which I'll just show throughout. There's a couple I'll show here. I'm going to do a metal update later on. There's going to be a few in there. I'm not going to do a RSD specific video this year, though. But everybody was having these crazy sales, and I bought an insane amount of albums. I probably bought 35 albums in the last few days, and it's just because the stuff was just killer deals. Only 3 or 4 of those were, maybe 5 were actually Record Store Day albums, but most of it was just really cool stuff that I ran across, and this is one of them. This is my favorite song from Lita Ford, and it's Close My Eyes Forever. This is the remix, of course, with Ozzy Osbourne, and the B-side of this is Under the Gun. Next up, this was another one I bought just the other day, and I think I paid $2 or $3 for this one. Maybe $2 for this. Dude looks like a lady with Cimaraya off of Permanent Vacation. This was a really cool find. I actually paid like $5 for this, but this is UFO. Couldn't get it right. Backed with Hot and Ready live from the Reading Festival in 1980. This is a UK import. So this has always cracked me up about UK pressings. If you're familiar, especially the early 80s or throughout the 80s, even in the 70s, in the UK they use these really thin paper sleeves for their 12 inches for their full-length LPs. But then all the singles came on this super heavy cardstock. It's just always been a trip to me that they use the heavy stock on this and that light stock on the LPs. But and I've also always liked the way the 45s were made in the UK, where it's where they printed the record and then the label is actually it looks like it's inked on, as opposed to being a paper label that you get here in the US. But again, UFO, who of course I'm a huge fan of. This is one of the Record Store Day releases. This is Runnin', The Far Side, and the B-side of this is, what is it, Emerald Butterfly. This is off of their second album. I should have brought it out. You can see that one's on blue and white vinyl. I actually have an original pressing of this 45 from 1995. The only way you could get it was to go to Delicious Vinyl. I had a friend, I was in the Navy at the time. This is about 97. He went back home to California to visit some family, and we were both real big fans of The Far Side. And The Far Side was doing some type of deal at Delicious Vinyl, like a signing event or something. And he went there, and they were giving away the original pressings of this. And the original pressings go for like $80, $90 now. I should have brought it out to show it. It's on blue vinyl. But it pretty much looks exactly the same as this, with the exception it's blue vinyl. But that's why I picked that up. The Far Side, like I said, I don't show a lot of hip-hop on here. But there's the hip-hop I do show is stuff that I really love. The Far Side's first album, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side, is probably top 5 all-time hip-hop albums in my opinion. Just an amazing album. This is off of Lab Cabin, California, which I wasn't as much a fan of. This song was really good though, but definitely the best song on that album. This one I almost passed on. I bought it because the record was in mint condition, but this is the promo copy of Leader of the Pack. The actual sleeve is pretty tattered and beat up. It's probably a G plus, but the vinyl was near mint. And this is the promo copy with the long version and the short version. The long version's like 20 seconds longer, maybe. Hang on, 325, so 25 seconds longer. Next up, again, this is the same type of thing. I paid $1 for it. It's a promo copy where the vinyl's in mint condition. The sleeve's a little dirty though. This is autographed. She Never Looked That Good for Me. These always trip me out. I've seen this before. Actually, I have another one that's the same way. You'll get the promo copies, and the promo copies have the same song on both sides. But they'll put them in the regular jacket or the regular sleeve. So if you would have bought the non-promo copy of this, it would have had Dance All Night as the B-side. But because it's a promo copy, it's got She Never Looked That Good for Me on both sides. So, and like I said, I've seen that with other promo copies before. I don't know why they did that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I would still rather have the picture sleeve than not. But just an observation. John Cougar Mellencamp, this is another one I picked up for like $1. I've talked about John Cougar Mellencamp before. It was one of my dad's favorite artists back in the 80s. I just grew up listening to him. And I really like, a lot of times, artists like this, if both songs are from an album that I already have, I won't grab it unless it's just in mint condition. The ones I really pick up are the ones like this, where one of the songs is not off the album. And that was the case with this one. This one has Pretty Ballerina, which was not on Scarecrow, and then the A-side was Rain on the Scarecrow, and of course it's from the album Scarecrow. But didn't want to pass on that one. Actually, there's another. Let's see. I should have put them together, but I didn't. Oh well. Next up, an artist that died way too young. And died really, he drowned, you know. But this was cool. This is Jeff Buckley and Sly and the Family Stone, each doing their versions of Everyday People. I love that song. I'm a big Jeff Buckley fan, man. His version of Hallelujah is one of the all-time best. If you've ever seen a live performance, that is amazing. But Jeff Buckley really was just an amazing singer. And for him to die the way he did so early is just crazy. I've always loved the Sly and the Family Stone song. I even love the Arrested Development version of Everyday People, or I think they called it People Every Day. But really, and I liked it this year. Previously, if they had two bands doing the same song, they would just put it in a clear vinyl or a clear plastic cover. And this year they did picture sleeves for all of them, which I do prefer over those clear plastic ones. Another of the Record Store Day pickups I grabbed was Rumble from Link Wray. I'm a big Link Wray fan, and I love that song. I've actually got a few more Link Wray singles in here, and then a couple of his albums as well. But that one was on yellow vinyl. Also, another Record Store Day release. This one kind of disappointed me. It just doesn't sound that good. The pressing quality wasn't great, and I'm sure it was had something to do with the fact that it was printed in the Czech Republic. But at least that's what the sticker on the back of it said. But this is SOD and the Deftones singing Milk. Milk's not honestly my favorite SOD song anyway, but I love SOD, and I'm a huge Deftones fan, so I wasn't going to pass up on that. And that was on white vinyl. And then also, I also picked up a couple of older Record Store Day releases. This one I picked up a couple months ago, and I just couldn't find this anywhere on Record Store Day earlier this year. This is Hawkwind, Back on the Street, and the B-side of this is The Dream of Isis. And again, this was from the last Record Store Day. You can't go wrong with Hawkwind. I haven't heard anything from Hawkwind that I didn't like. And then also the other day for Record Store, again, I went a couple days after Record Store Day. I still ended up getting everything I wanted without having to deal with the rush and all that stuff. But this is one that I missed last year that I really wanted to get, and I kind of kicked myself for not getting it. Well, I found it this year for half price. So this is Black Knight and Speed King from Deep Purple, and that was on blue vinyl. And I love that they used the olive green Warner Brothers label from the 70s. The Dutch version, it's a Dutch single version of Speed King, kicks ass. I love that song. Speed King was a favorite of mine anyway, but that version with the piano and stuff sounds really cool. If you run across that one, highly recommend picking that one up. This one I found a few weeks ago. I found this for $1. Another promo. And I couldn't even find any information on this one. I actually had to put this one in Discogs, but this is Finish What You Started from Van Halen. And it's Finish What You Started on both sides. And this is off of OU812. The original 7-inch of this had a different song on the B-side and a different cover than the 45 or than the promo copy there. Let's see. Next up, this is one I got at Goodwill for like 52 cents or something like that. Lollipop from Stand By Me by the Shardells. And the B-side is Never on Sunday, which is another Shardells song that was previously unreleased. Both good songs, but Lollipop's a great song, and it just takes me back to that movie. Same day at the Goodwill, I also picked up Light of Day, or the Bar Busters from the Light of Day soundtrack. It's the Blackhearts, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And the B-side of that is Roadrunner, also from Joan Jett. Next up, same day, Van Halen, Pretty Woman, B-side is Happy Trails. What was that one off of? Was that Diver Down? I can't remember which album that was off of. I'm sure one of you guys will put it in the comments. No, it wasn't Diver Down. Maybe that's Van Halen 2. 82. I can't remember which album was 82. Next up, Skid Row, 18 and a Life. I love that song. I love the video. That was the song that really got me into Skid Row. It's also backed with Midnight Tornado. These next three, I don't remember where, I found them at a UCD store. They had somebody brought in a couple of 45s, and I grabbed all three of them. First one is Misunderstanding. The B-side is Behind the Lines, off of Duke by the band Genesis. Then also picked up a copy of Abacab, backed with Who Done It, off of Genesis's Abacab. Next up, Walk Through the Fire from Peter Gabriel, off the Against All Odds soundtrack. I've already showed that one. Notorious from Duran Duran, and the B-side is Winter Marches On. This one was not in the picture sleeve, but it is in the correct capital sleeve. Let's see, next up, this one was in a generic sleeve, which kind of disappoints me, but I run across a lot of capital sleeves, so it's not a big deal. This is Steve Miller Band. The main reason I bought this one, this is Living in the USA, which is not one of my favorite Steve Miller songs, but it's got an instrumental called Buffalo Serenade that's previously unreleased, so I wanted to check that out. It's pretty good. Next up, I was really surprised to find this one. I didn't even know that this was released on a vinyl 45. I would have guessed, just because of the date that it was released, it would have been released on CD, because the jukeboxes had switched over to CD by this time. But this is Intergalactic from the Beastie Boys on Capitol. And it's got the little 4 jukebox, it's hard to see, but it's got the 4 jukeboxes only stamp or mark on there. And the B-side of this is Peanut Butter and Jelly, which I believe this is the only place that this has been released. I can't find it on anything else, unless maybe they did a 12-inch single of this. I'm not sure, but it's a really cool instrumental. But Intergalactic. Next up, these last couple. Let's see. Yeah, these last few are also from that trip to Goodwill, and you'll notice they've all got some kind of, the guy put, it's kind of hard to see on this one, but the guy put his initials on all of these, which is annoying, but they were all in really good condition, and they were all 50 cents. But this is Los Lobos, a couple songs from the La Bamba soundtrack. This is Come On Let's Go, and then Ooh My Head, both performed by Los Lobos. Then this one I just kind of picked up. It's Santana. Santana's one of those guys that I want to like. He's got songs that I hear that are amazing, and it seems like every time I buy one of his albums, I'm just disappointed. But this is Santana doing Veracruz and Mandela. Again, I wasn't really impressed by it. I mean, it was 50 cents, so it's no big letdown or anything, but once again, it's just another one that didn't do it for me. This was kind of cool. This is Travis Tritt and Dwight Yoakam. Dwight Yoakam covering Suspicious Minds, which is one of my all-time favorite Elvis songs, and then Travis Tritt covering Burning Love. So I had to grab that. as a country fan and as a closet Elvis fan. But that's it. Like I said, that's pretty much everything I've bought in the last 5 or 6 months. There were a couple more, but I've already shown them. A few punk albums. And, you know, at some point I may come back through here and just grab a handful of 7 inches and just show them. I've been going through, I just got, like I said, I just picked up those rice paper sleeves. And I've been going through and cleaning my 45s and getting them all put into sleeves and stuff. A lot of them are just in these, you know, still sitting in their paper. They haven't been cleaned yet. A lot of them haven't been listened to. Let's see. Old Dylan. So as I go through and clean these, you know, I've got a bunch of these Garth Brooks jukebox records, probably 20 of those that I picked up at a Goodwill. But as I go through and clean these, I'll probably do another video here and there. Stars. Let's see what else we got. More Duran Duran. I'm a Duran Duran. I like Duran Duran. That's one of my weaknesses. But that's it, guys. Like I said, just a small sampling. That's probably 10% of my 45s right now. Like I said, you know, I like 45s. I would love to have a lot more. I just don't run across them. And honestly, when I'm online looking for stuff, I'm not looking for 45s. If I run across a deal, you know, like I kick myself now for not getting like the Bat 45s when they first came up on Hell's Headbangers, or what was the other band that they did a bunch of 45s for? There was another band that was on there, and I didn't get them, and now they go for $20-$30, and I kind of kicked myself for not getting them. But you know, it is what it is. Like I said, as I see them, I grab them. Other than that, take care, BC. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a metal update pretty soon. I'm just kind of putting the albums together right now, and I'll probably get that filmed tonight or tomorrow and get that up as soon as it's done. So take care. If you don't hear from me, have a great weekend. And bye.